There we go. All right. I seem to be live in the correct place. If you can see and hear me, let me know. Give me a shout out in the chat. Always fun when you haven't live streamed in a bit and everything needs to be updated and you're trying to make sure they're all interfacing well. So as you may have noticed, the description of this show today is niche and new. So I am sort of playtesting some of my songs that mostly have gone out to my Patreon community. And some of you may have heard before, but a lot of these are pretty limited in my public performance as of yet. But I am going on tour next month, and I want to get your feedback on which of these songs you think would be best to add into my upcoming live sets. This first one is called House Rules. Might be because the game is old. Playtesting wasn't quite the same back then. I reread the instructions and we made some deductions, but it's still not clear. Now we're faced with a choice. I can't find the answer on BGG. We can quit barely halfway, but I've taken a survey and I think it's time for house rules. They're just tools to enhance our enjoyment of the game. Let's be plain, I don't care what you say, you're in my house now. Might be because the game is flawed. One player always ends up snowballing. There's no catch-up mechanic, now her lead is gigantic, but we can't just quit. Still got about 2 hours to play. We all sit here wondering what's the point. Games don't have to be equable, but this one's inflexible. I think it's time for house rules. They're just tools to enhance our enjoyment of the game. Let's be plain, I don't care what you say, you're in my house now. Might be because we got bored. It's definitely because we got bored. While they won't last forever, gosh, we all feel so clever laying down the laws. Won't alter theming or story. We'll just tweak a few things here and there. It's not based on ambitions, we won't change end conditions, but I think it's time for house rules. They're just tools to enhance our enjoyment of the game. Let's be plain, I don't care what you say, you're in my house now. What if we had wild cards and get rid of free discards? We should put an extra space right there, it's not out of place. Change the currency a bit, force the bonus to be split. One reroll, drop that goal. We've got full control with house rules. They're just tools to enhance our enjoyment of the game. Let's be plain, I don't care what you say. It's house rules. They're just tools to enhance our enjoyment of the game. Let's be plain, what you say, you're in my house now. This next one is based on a character from Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. And if you're not familiar with the show, it's delightful. It's on Netflix. But regardless, I think that you will probably understand the underlying message. So this is about a character named Jamac. And I'm going to tell you his story in the song, but it's really all about his quest for belonging and finding a group that he belongs to because they're right for him instead of forcing himself to fit into a group that's really not right for him. This is called Belonging. Give me a shout if you're out there. Jamac got in quick with the wrong crowd. He thought, well, the wrong crowd's better than none. That's what he tells himself late at night when he's terrified of being alone. It's cool that they speak and dress just like him, or at least he speaks and dresses just like them. It's not a lot to build a lasting friendship on, but he's desperate to prove himself again. I can be long, I will be strong when I'm with you. I can be long, I'll go along with what you do. I'll ignore my fearful heart just as long as I'm apart, because a part of something's better than just me. Jamac messed things up with his old gang. That's what they tell him anyway. He blames himself and thinks he can still make things right by capturing a girl who's gone astray. Young Kipo's straight up weird. She asks big questions, like, would you like to try a different way? He's got the chance to turn her in or be her friend. He doesn't like the choice, he runs away. Can I be long, can I be strong when I'm with you? Can I be long and go along with what you do? Stuck here with this fearful heart, I just wish I were apart, because a part of something's better than just me. Jamac made his own way for a long time, observing old friends, wondering about new. The draw he felt to be the same was fading now, and he learned he could accept a different view. Jamac joined a team that fought for kindness, and everyone was equal, tribe and kin. It's everything to build a lasting friendship on, and no one had to prove that they fit in. I can be long, I can be strong, both me and you. And it's not wrong when I believe in all we do. I'll let go this fearful heart and take pride in being part of this whole that's better when it's made with me. Yes, I'll let go this fearful heart and take pride in being part of this whole that's better when it's made with me. All right, I'm just going to refresh my page here because I don't think my chat feature is working. Okay. So just a reminder, if there's a particular song that you think I should be adding into my upcoming live sets, I would love to hear that. Or if you have feedback on something that you don't particularly like for any reason, I'm happy to hear that as well. Pretty much all of these are songs that have not gotten a lot of play yet, so I'm in the learning and memorizing phase of all of them. All right, I finally can see something in chat. Hi, Chris. So this next song, it's about a D&D game, but it's also about Marie Kondo. So I don't know if you're familiar with Marie Kondo and the idea of things in your life sparking joy. But this is called Marie Kondo and the Bag of Holding. And I'll let the song tell you the story. My name is Radduck. I'm a barbarian. I'm really handy with an axe. When I'm not swinging, you'll find me carrying a bag of holding filled with our knickknacks. And though a year ago it seemed quite nifty, every day I get more thrifty. Why do I need this ogre hook, or an empty spell book, feathers from a bird we fought, or this iron pot, as I am considering Con Marie, she speaks to me. Does it spark joy? Does it make your life meaningful? Will you use it every day? Listen to my words and keep your stuff minimal. Let it go, give it away. So I keep her words in mind as I look for things to leave behind. Why do we need these dead crows, or these 14 crossbows, water skin that's filled with wine, or these long swords, we've got 9. As I am considering Con Marie, she speaks to me. Does it spark joy? Does it make your life meaningful? Will you use it every day? Listen to my words and keep your stuff minimal. Let it go, give it away. So I take her words to heart, dump the bag and make a fresh start. Why do I need bracers of shield, or this flail we can't wield, grappling hook I've never thrown, or the finger of a crone? As I am considering Con Marie, she speaks to me. Does it spark joy? Does it make your life meaningful? Will you use it every day? Listen to my words and keep your stuff minimal. Let it go, give it away. Does it spark joy? Does it make your life meaningful? Will you use it every day? Listen to my words and keep your stuff minimal. Let it go, give it away. Just because you have the space doesn't mean you need to fill it. All right. So I don't know if I wasn't broadcasting before, my chat feature just wasn't working, but I'm finally seeing things in the chat, so yay. So hello, everyone, and thank you. I freshened up the color just yesterday, so now I've got all this faded out lavender and then this nice bright popping purple in the front. If you liked that song about Radduck, I have a series of songs about him. Some of them are available on Bandcamp, but most of them have just been posted to my Patreon community. In particular, I am a fan of a song that I released, a month or two back. It was at the very end of about a 2-year campaign. It's called Mouse Bomb to the Face, and I went sort of punk metal with it. So I don't perform it live because it's got a lot of drum and heavier guitar loops that I can't play for you live, but it's a fun one. So, hey, Brian. Yeah, so for Capital District people, I am doing a live, actual in-person show next month, the first Saturday in April at the Dorn Space in Gloversville. So I am very excited about that, and it will be an almost all original show. So if you like my original stuff, that is a great place to come check me out. Let's see what's next. Okay, so I have not been online doing a lot of shows recently because I've been getting back into my senior performances at a lot of the facilities around here. And I, of course, had to do some Irish songs for this month. And that sort of inspired me to do a parody of an Irish song, and so I was working on this, and I kind of finished it yesterday. So if I slip up, if I have to look a little more closely at the lyrics, I apologize. Hey, Kelly. But this is about Forged in Fire. I don't know if any of you who are watching right now are familiar, but it's a show that my husband and I have really gotten into as sort of our end of the evening kind of wind down, watching people forge awesome weapons. And this is to the tune of The Wild Rover. Flames roar up high as the battle begins. 4 smiths will enter and 1 smith will win. Now forge us a blade in your signature style. Time management's key in this first round of trial, and it's forged in fire. Forged in fire and grit. 3-blade smiths will surrender, yet not one will quit. Start with Damascus, a canister, please. The judges say whiteout will make it a breeze. Then hammer away with the tools at your bench, and try thermocycling preceding your quench, and it's forged in fire. Forged in fire and grit. 3-blade smiths will surrender, yet not one will quit. Your handle's been shaped and your blade's razor sharp. It's time now to see if it will fall apart. You'll watch the judge pound it against ice or bone, and if it survives, then your metal you've shown, and it's forged in fire. Forged in fire and grit. 3-blade smiths will surrender, yet not one will quit. The last round will send you back to your home shop, where drama ensues and your first try's a flop. You fly back for testing and know the great thrill of hearing Doug Markida say it will kill, and it's forged in fire. Forged in fire and grit. 3-blade smiths will surrender, yet not one will quit. And it's forged in fire. Forged in fire and grit. 3-blade smiths will surrender, yet not one will quit. That was perfect timing, because for me, your comment, "This song will kill," came up right as I was singing, "It will kill." And yeah, so Kelly, you did the little tap, tap, tap. in the chat there. And I figure even for people that don't know Forged in Fire, this would be a fun song to do like at a bar, right? Because people can sing along with the chorus once they get it and do the clapping. And I do have a show coming up at an Irish bar when I go on tour at the end of April. So. This next song is about the video game Diablo, which one of the reasons that I love this game, I'm not a huge video gamer, but there are a few games that I play, and I play them a lot. And this particular game, you're acquiring a lot of loot, and so you're getting, your chest plate armor and your helmet and your boots and all that kind of stuff, and you get special pants, and they have these great names to them. Lots of great vocabulary words in this game. And I just felt inspired to write a sea shanty about the awesome pants that you can acquire in Diablo. So this is called Legendary Pants. And if you would like to sing along from home or from work, depending on what's going on with you right now, you are welcome to do that. So every other line is, to get me a pair of pants. And then the other alternating line is, all for a pair of pants. So I think that you will be able to pick that up pretty quickly. All right. Tyrael sent me on bounties today to get me a pair of pants. Cursed chest to cleanse and demons to slay, all for a pair of pants. The pants, there's a chance for legendary pants. Oric, he sent me on a rift run today to get me a pair of pants, to tempt the rift guardians to come out and play, all for a pair of pants. The pants, there's a chance for legendary pants. Took my blood shards to Kadala today to get me a pair of pants. She left me with nothing but junk and dismay, all for a pair of pants. The pants, there's a chance for legendary pants. I asked Sultan Cool for an upgrade today to get me a pair of pants. Not enough's death breath was all he would say, all for a pair of pants. The pants, there's a chance for legendary pants. I caught up with one treasure goblin today to get me a pair of pants. He dropped green loot and I shouted, hooray! All for a pair of pants. The pants, there's a chance for legendary pants. Oh, Book of Cain, give me good news today to get me a pair of pants. Blackthorn's jousting mail, it revealed I turned gray, all for a pair of pants. The pants, there's a chance for legendary pants. Brought my misfortunes to Hadric today to get me a pair of pants. All magic pants at his feet I did lay, all for a pair of pants. The pants, there's no chance for legendary pants. The pants, there's no chance for legendary pants. Thanks, Jen. And hello. Looking forward to your show this weekend. So for those who know the Faithful Sidekicks or would like to get to know them, they are doing a joint concert this weekend on Saturday evening, so you can check that out on Facebook. I am really hoping for Legendary Pants that when I do the show at the Doran Space in April, that my husband will be guest starring on this one, because when we wrote the song, we wrote it together. We were drinking rum, as is appropriate when you're writing a sea shanty, and he had his concertina out. If you're not familiar with the concertina, it's like kind of like a tiny little accordion type thing that you kind of can vision a sailor playing, so also very appropriate. So I'm hoping that he will bring that along to the Dorn Space and bring it out for this song. All right, this one is a little less niche, I think. I think it's a little more widespread, but it is a relatively new song and one I really haven't had a chance to do much playing in public. So, for those of you like me who grew up with a crafty mom, you know that there is a pair of scissors in the house that are for fabric only. You do not touch these scissors for anything else. And so this is called Don't You Touch Mama's Sewing Shears. When it's time for cutting, there's so many shears about. It might seem hard to choose. Grab any pair, they'll do the job, I have no doubt. There's just one thing you cannot do. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Have you seen the pair lying in the kitchen drawer? They'll cut through solid bone. Just last week we got some safety scissors from the store, but you better leave Mama's sewing shears alone. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, please don't touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. If you've got some hairs to trim, check neath the bathroom sink for pruning, look inside the shed. There's ones to slice or snip or pare, and even ones that pink. But grab those orange handle shears, you're dead. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Now Mama's prized possessions aren't what you'd guess. She's got no chest of furs and jewels, but that don't mean she cares about them any less. She keeps a watchful eye on all her tools. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Don't you touch, don't you touch, don't you touch, just don't touch, don't you touch Mama's sewing shears. Yes, I love it. The special shears called Edward. Don't you touch Edward. Mine are also orange now, and I know not everybody's sewing shears are orange, but that is the classic that I grew up with. And I do have them, and I do tell my husband, do not use those shears. He knows. He grew up in a household with a mom who had the same rule. We don't have fancy cars and jewels in the house, but we have nice sewing shears, and we have some instruments that have to be asked about before you can touch them. All right, I've got a couple more for y'all today. If you're watching this show later and it's not live, I would still love your feedback on which of these songs you think I should add to my upcoming live sets in April and May. If there's any particular ones that stand out that you would like to hear again. So this song is, it's based on Kid Cosmic, if any of you have seen that series on Netflix. And again, it's not really important that you've seen it because the general idea of the song is based around one of the characters, Papaji, who has a phrase that he uses when people are feeling stressed out. And he says, freaking out, breathe it out. And being in a situation where I've been dealing with a lot of my own anxiety lately, it's just such a nice, simple way to think about it. Feeling stressed, freaking out, just take a breath. Doesn't fix everything, but it starts you down the right path. So this song is about whether you are dealing with the normal stressors of daily life, like most of us are, or if you're like Kid Cosmic and his gang dealing with alien invaders, the advice applies the same. And this is called Freaking Out, Breathe It Out. Whether your stress is a personal mess or a world on the brink of war, for our anxieties we seek all remedies, chemical, spiritual, we beg for more. All of these therapies take time, and currently time is too precious to pay. Can you suggest something? Yes, we'll take anything that will start working today. Papaji says, freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Well, it may not make life perfect, as if there were even such a thing, but I promise you it's worth it to breathe. Freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Perhaps you didn't sleep too well last night. Your mind spun in circles, wrapping you up tight. Or perhaps you've got some aliens invading. Waves of baddies, big and small, can be so frustrating. Papaji says, freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Well, it may not make life perfect, as if there were even such a thing, but I promise you it's worth it to breathe. Freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Perhaps you didn't finish off your checklist. More tasks on tomorrow, you beg it to desist. Or perhaps a portal sent you across the cosmos to gather stones of power and defeat some dork named Phantos. Not Thanos, Phantos, but similar. Papaji says, freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Well, it may not make life perfect, as if there were even such a thing, but I promise you it's worth it to breathe. Freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Perhaps you struggle daily to be present, to let go an unremitting grasp on the unpleasant. Or perhaps you travel through the galaxy, saving planets, facing death with your adopted family. Papaji says, freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe. Well, it may not make life perfect, as if there were even such a thing, but I promise you it's worth it to breathe. Freaking out, breathe it out, freaking out, breathe it out, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. All right. I'm not reading all the feedback right now, but I see that you did leave me some nice feedback, Jen, so thank you for sending that along. I said I had 2, and I realized everything else in my pile of music here is for the auto harp, and I'm not going to get into that today, so we'll have to save that for another concert. But I'm glad that you were all able to make it out and share a little music with me this afternoon. Again, if you're in the Capital District area, I hope I will see you at the beginning of April at the Doran Space. And if you are a little further southeast, I will be doing some live shows down in Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia on my way down to RavenCon at the end of April, leading into May. You can find all the info on that at my website, which is rhiannanslark.com. If you're not sure about the spelling, go to singinglark.com, and that will send you on to me. All right, that's it for me today. I hope that I will get to see you all soon. Bye for now.